Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Here I am with the tutorial for playing PPD with your controller. Now I did upload this actually really late last night, and then I made quite a few errors, and I then later also was informed of a few issues with the mods that I included with it. So I'm redoing the tutorial. I'm also going to be explaining a few extra things I learned from since then that will definitely come in useful. So if you already did watch my first tutorial, I only had it up for like 2 hours, I think. You can feel free to rewatch this one again, and you'll learn a few new things. But here we go. It's gonna take a bit of time, so bear with me here. I'm doing this in one no edited cut, the lazy way. I mean the professional way. But here we go. It's gonna be about half an hour, give or take. So this is PPD. This is just a computer software, in case you didn't know, that lets you play Future Tone on your PC. And how it works, it's very simple, but ingenious actually. You're just playing the video file of whatever song that was, taken by anybody, and they use this software and make a chart for it. And when you're playing the game, you're really just watching the video and then seeing the notes overlapped on top of the video file, and you're pressing the buttons to the beat. So thanks to this, there's downsides and upsides. The upside is if you have a potato PC, you can still probably play this game because your PC just needs to be able to play a video without lagging while you're pressing buttons. But the downside, obviously, it's not like the Future Tone beautiful 3D PVs, change of outfits and all that stuff. But whatever, if you're downloading this game, it's either you don't have a PS4 or you're just bored of PS4's Future Tone's official songs and you just want to try some other songs here. And I've actually played this game a long time ago, 5 years ago actually. I still have a video up for it, but back then there was no support for controllers. So, on the arcade machines you only get the 4 buttons to press all your notes. Well, this was the exact same thing. You only got 4 buttons to press all your notes. So on the controller, if I was trying to press a stream of squares, I would have to single tap all the squares. So that's not very fun and possible. You would have to basically have a pad to play this game. So I just played a bit and whatever, forgot about it, and then started playing a second. But now, with the more recent mods, we can actually now play this simulator just like Future Tone. It's going to be almost identical to Future Tone. I'll explain the slight differences after, but let's go get started. So right here, it's going to bring up this information here. This is a great start here. Sorry, hold on guys. Let me just match this up. Alright, so we need to download 3 things here, and all of these links are going to be in the description, so just make sure you look at the description if you are interested. You need to download the game, the PPD. You need to download this DS4 software, which allows your PS4 controller to connect to your PC. And you don't have to get this one, but I recommend it. This is how I managed to figure out to play this game with macros, since the official PPD game doesn't support macros. Like you press trigger and it's all 4 buttons at once. This game doesn't support that. So if you download this too, it's called X Mouse. Just download that, and we're gonna set up the 3 software. So let's go back to the website here. So here's the PPD website. Just go ahead, go to the download. 64-bit, unless you got a really old computer. Download this if necessary, and it's just going to install wherever you tell it to install, C drive, whatever. It's going to make a folder called KHC, and then inside that there's a PPD folder. And this version that you're downloading is the bare bones version. So if you already tried to do this yourself, you probably noticed it looks like crap when you launch it just by itself, and you're probably wondering, why do these other PPD players have such better games or a looking game than what I got here. So to make it really simple, in my description, right, these 2 links here. Okay, I'm gonna give you 2 options. I have this entire zip file of my PPD folder, so basically my entire game and the mods that make your game look nice and makes it look like Future Tone. This is just this one has all that, but like the main menus and all this other stuff is like the basic, so it's easier for your PC to load it, but it doesn't look as nice. This one is the heavier skin mod, so it's got a lot more fancier effects and menus and all that stuff. And you can also, I believe, include loading screens, which I don't think this one can. So that's the difference between these two, and I'll have that in the description. Let's go back here. So first thing, install PPD. Boom, you're done. Now we'll go to the next one. We're going to go to the DS4 website. Just going to download the DS4 for Windows. It's just a zip file, so it's a folder with the files inside. You can place this folder anywhere. I just placed it on my desktop. And we'll come back to this after. And finally, this is the macro button for your mouse. I actually use this for a different game, but I managed to figure a way to make this work so that I could press macros. So go ahead and just download the latest version of this. Once you have all three downloaded, and you have my zip file here downloaded, whichever one you choose doesn't matter. It's just a folder that's called PPD, and you're gonna go to your where's my thing here? Let me fit this in here. So you're gonna go find where you installed that PPD official game. So it's in your whatever drive you have, and then KHC. There you go. And then there's the PPD folder. So the one that you have installed by default is gonna be the bare bones one. We still install this because I'm pretty sure it needs like registry files and stuff before you can actually run the game. So you just go ahead and install it. But after it's installed, you can actually just go ahead and delete the one that you installed, because like I said, it's just a bare bones with no customizations to it. And then you're gonna drag and drop the one that I gave you from MediaFire into here, and head on in there. And because you download the exact same one I have, you should have the exact same skins that I already have included, and the exact same mods that I have included already here. And I left 3 songs for you guys. Not this one, this is my actual main file, but I left just 2 Michiam songs and one I forgot his name, a slow motion song. So you guys can just try those ones first. And what you want to do is, if you want to change the resolution and everything, we're going to go right into here, PPD config. This will open up. My settings are 1920 by 1080, so high definition. If it lags too much for you, you can downgrade this. Another tip I had was you can actually disable the shaders to dramatically improve your performance. So give that a try if you find that you're not running at a constant 60 frames per second. When you boot up the game in window mode, it does show you the frame rate at the top left. The only reason why I don't play my game in full screen is because my monitor is trash, so I get like screen tearing in full screen. So that's why I just play it window mode, so it's fine, whatever. This one right here, the more heavily modded PPD folder that I uploaded, Blizzard told me that one of the mods needs to have this disabled so that it will work. It was something to do with like the menu or something. I'm not very good at paying attention, so I didn't really notice what the difference was, but that's what that one is. You can probably find out yourself, or just ask the PPD Discord nicely. Don't bombard them with "help me please," alright? I want you to behave yourself. Which again, I'll link their PPD Discord down below in my description, so you can get some assistance. There's like a lot of other tutorials and like what's some good songs, I guess. All that stuff is in there. This game also has multiplayer, so they have a multiplayer room if you want to request to see if someone else is available and have a little match, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's the settings, and we're just going to make sure the game runs fine on your computer, so you can go ahead and just launch it. I have mine already launched. Okay, when you first launch it, it's going to look like this. Now, because you probably don't have your PS4 controller set up the way mine is yet, just for now, this first page, I know they don't make it very descriptive, but this is just the first page. To tab between the pages, you can on your keyboard press Q and E, and you will go between the different pages. So like so. movie, game, and feed. So in the settings from here, you can actually go and check the buttons. But we don't have to worry about that right now because I want you guys to set up your controller first before you start digging around. But you're just here to make sure your game does boot up fine and it's actually working properly. And then you can exit that because we're going to move on to setting up your controller next. Alright, let's have a look at it. Now, like I said, not this one here. That DS4 folder that I was talking about, which is right here. Like I said, it's just a folder. You put it anywhere you want. I put it on my desktop, and inside is just these files right here. And you're just gonna open up the DS4 Windows exe. Once you open it up, it should look like this. This little tiny thing opens up. It should be on the controllers tab, and you're gonna go ahead and plug in your PS4 controller. If you've already plugged it in before, it's already installed, you should see it just show up right here instantly. And look, you can change the colors of it. So if you don't like blue, you can make it black. Actually, can you make it black? I never tried that. Or pink, whatever you want. Anyways, that doesn't matter. As long as you see it here, it's connected to your PC, it's good to go. If you don't see it show up here, even though it's installed the drivers already and everything, and it should install automatically, it's probably due because you have the old first generation PS4 controller, and that one requires like it's like a workaround where you have to trick the computer into thinking that it's an Xbox controller so it will work. So if it doesn't show up here, that's probably the reason. I'm not gonna give the tutorial how to do that. My recommendation is just go buy the new controller. It'll make your life a lot easier, or go YouTube how to make it so that it works on your PC. But we need to set up the controller, so we're gonna go ahead and press edit, and the screen's gonna show up where we can choose all the keys. So it's this part here in my first tutorial. I also messed up a few parts, so now I can do this right. So right here, we're going to have a look. You can choose what the button will do when you press on your controller. So just make sure that they match to how a PS4 controller should match. I don't know if this is just my computer, but like when I want to set the X, for example, it actually shows a Xbox controller. So just match it. You know, X is down here, square, triangle, and circle. So just go ahead and make sure that all matches. And same thing, D-pad should already be set. So down is down here and all that stuff. So that's all good. That's easy. Next, we'll come back to this here. That's with the macros, which I'll explain. But this is the next part. We're gonna figure out how to do the sliders in this game. So this PPD game was actually made for the official arcade originally, which had no sliders because that came in the Future Tone update. So they had to kind of implement the sliders in later. So it's not the best setup by default. So we're gonna have to tweak a few things. Let me show you what it looks like in the settings real quick here, so you have a better understanding of what I'm talking about. When I show you the keys, this is the options. You can either press the keyboard buttons if you want to play with keyboard, or with the controller buttons. And as you can see here, there is the two options here for the sliders, left or right slider and left slider. Forgot my left and right. Whoops. And this is fine and all, but you know, some songs have double sliders. So if they're facing the opposite ways, that's a double slider. That's no problem. You can press these two, E and Q, for example, or on my controller, this is the bumper, right bumper and left bumper. So I would just press these two, and it would trigger these two, and that's double slider, easy. But now, what happens if the two double sliders are facing the same way? Well, then you're screwed. You're gonna give up your perfect. No, that's stupid. They actually low budget fixed this by making it so that if you press the right D-pad and the slider, then it counts as a double slider that's facing the same way. Now, as you can see, when I'm playing this game, I don't want to have to remember to press the right D-pad with my slider to do a double slider. I just want to be able to press the sliders on my joysticks and make it work. I don't think this also counts your joystick's input. Yeah, it doesn't. I have it set up right now so it does, but naturally without my macro, I don't think it works. So that's why we have to do a few changes. But yeah, just to give you an understanding of how this game recognizes the inputs. So we're gonna go back to our controller setup, and first things first, on your sticks here, so the left stick, which is this stick right here, you want to unbound the up and down direction, because this game is not as smooth as Future Tone slider inputs. Future Tone's inputs, like, you can friggin' jerk it all you want, and literally as long as it's even 1 degree to the right, it will count it as a right slider. You know what I'm talking about. Sliders are so easy in Future Tone. But in this game, it's not quite so simple. If you accidentally tilt the joystick, a little bit diagonally, and it will register both, right and up, you might get it wrong. So make your life a lot easier. Unbind that shit. Don't have up or down direction on both sides. So left stick up, right stick down, right stick up, blah blah. Disable that. To do that, just open it up and click the unbound right here. Now, after you've done that, we now need to tell the direction for the sliders. So we're gonna go back here. Okay, you can see my right stick, when I press left direction, it's going to press left bumper for me. So remember, my left bumper is already the slider facing left. So that's why I told this this DS4 software, when I press left side on my stick, it's going to press left bumper for me, which will then count as a left slide. And then same thing here, right stick, we're gonna, when I point it to the right, it's going to be the right bumper for the right slider. Now it's very important that whatever button you do first, the next button, so I did right first, now on the left side, make sure you don't make it the same. The left side needs to be the D-pad instead. So the left side is going to be this left D-pad instead, and right side on the stick here is going to be the right D-pad. If you make both these sticks use bumpers, when you press both of these bumpers to the right, they're just simply both of them pressing this one bumper for you. So that's not going to count as a double slider. So that's why you have to do it this way. And that's it. That's how you take care of your sliders. The one extra thing I didn't mention in my first tutorial is everybody's sticks are different, if you know what I mean, right? No one has the same sticks, okay? Everybody's is unique. Some are more sensitive and some people's are not as sensitive. So I didn't notice this, but you can actually change the sensitivity of your sticks. You know how in F2, if you ever played that and your joysticks, you just freaking tilt it and it goes crazy on you, goes like double or triple inputs red because it's just like way too sensitive. Well, thanks to that, you can now fine tune the sensitivity of your sticks. So if you're noticing that you're trying to do the sliders, like I'll give you a good example. When there is it's very common left right sliders in a row that you gotta do, I like to use only one stick and go left right without having to alternate the two sticks. Now in this game, it's, again, like I said, it's not as accurate as Future Tone. Sometimes you might push right on the joystick, but then on the way back you might accidentally trigger right again, and that will give you a wrong. So that's gonna be really annoying. But thanks to this sensitivity, you can fine-tune it to your stick's preference so that that doesn't happen as much. So that should make your life a lot easier. So that's sliders covered, good to go. Now to explain the macros. As you can see, for some reason, my R2 says it's my 5th mouse button, and my L2 says it's my 4th mouse button. So this is when we move on to the X mouse software now. Let's go to it. When you launch the X mouse button software, it's going to look like this, minus these two parts right here, because I already configured it. By default, yours is going to say no change. And this is really nice. I actually use this for a different game, so it's great for MMOs, provided that they don't ban you for it. But this is what I use for the games that I play. But what we're interested in is to use this to help assist us in the macro setup. So as you can see here, I chose the mouse button 4 and 5 because I never use those buttons, and my mouse doesn't even have these buttons. So even if you don't have a mouse that have these buttons, you can still use this trick. So we're going to go ahead and change that from no change to simulated keys, and just click the little settings right here, and it's just asking you if you press mouse button 4, what is going to happen. Now I told the mouse button software, as you can see, to press ASDW for me when I press mouse button 4. Why ASDW? Do you remember in the PPD, in the keyboard input, ASDW is actually the arrow keys, up, down, left, right. And the PPD will accept both keyboard and the controller at the same time. So it's because of this. Now, I think you're starting to understand where I'm going here. If I make my mouse button 4, when I press that, and it will press all 4 of these letters for me at once, and make sure you change it from number 1 to number 3. So when you hold down mouse button 4, it will be held down and only let go when you let go. And just apply that. Now, we're going to go back to our controller right here. And that's the main reason. When I press L2 on my trigger, it's going to actually press the 4th mouse button, which, thanks to X mouse or X button, it's going to press those 4 letters for me, which then the PPD game will read it as, oh, you're holding down all 4 keys on your keyboard. That's a quad. And boom, there you go. That's how you can get macros in this game, even though PPD does not have the support. There's probably other ways to do it, and maybe one day someone will invent a mod that makes you do it so much easier rather than doing this convoluted way that I'm trying to do, but it works, so whatever, I'm not complaining. Now, it's very important. I didn't explain this in my last tutorial. Let's go back to the X mouse pad here. That you need to make sure the mouse button 5 is using HJKU, or whatever your keyboard inputs are. It should be the same as mine, because HJKU is the face buttons, the square, triangle, circle, X. And it's really important that it's different than this one, and the only reason for that is because if you only used one set like this, and you mapped it to both your triggers, if you are trying to, let's say a bunch of quad notes come up like really fast, and you're trying to alternate it on your triggers, when you press down on one trigger, and you don't let go of that trigger before you press down on the other trigger, it will not register this note, because it's physically not possible for the ASDW to be still held down and pressed again. You know what I mean? So that's why you want to make sure, and I didn't explain this last time, that the other macro you have available here is HJKU instead, because that's the face buttons. Yeah, this is the arrow keys, sorry. This is the arrow keys, and this is the face buttons. And when you go back to the DS4 here, and make sure that your other trigger is the 5th mouse button, and boom, there you go. You got the 2 sets of macros on your triggers, all set to go. Don't forget to click Save Profile when you're done. Otherwise, it's not going to save all the hard work that you put into this. And obviously, if you don't want quads, you want to do double macros. Same thing. Just change the X mouse buttons to be something else. Obviously, there's only mouse button 4 and 5, so if you need doubles for all 4 inputs, you're going to have to get a little bit creative here. You could, because you can only do it on the mouse, right? So you could, for example, make it so that the wheel up is the 3rd set of macros, and the wheel down is the 4th set of macros. And then in your DS4 software, set so that your R1 and R2, sorry, your R1 and your L1 is going to be wheel up and wheel down, and that's how you can get 4 sets of macros. If you play single macros, you don't even need this X mouse button software. You just simply go into here and just literally go to, let's say, L1, make it A, boom, there you go. That's the square, or make it to X, which is S. And you just do that for all your triggers and bumpers, and you're done. So single macro players have it the easiest. It's only the doubles, triples, and quadruples you have to use the X button mouse. Okay. Need like a break. I'm talking so much. I don't want this tutorial to be too long, but there's just like so much stuff to explain. Anyways, now I said this game is like 90% like the Future Tone one, and that's because unfortunately with the engine in this game, you cannot do the cheese strats for holds like how we do in Future Tone PS4. You know, in PS4, if you press the the square, and it's a hold note, so you press square first and you're holding down, and then I would then move on. While holding the square, I would press down on the trigger to keep that whole bonus alive, you know what I mean? Then I can let go of my thumbs here and continue playing like normal. So this strategy does not work in PPD. You can't do that. It's going to take me, I don't want to explain why it doesn't work, but just trust me, it doesn't work like that. No matter how you do it, it's not going to work like that. But, so why do we even bother with macros then? We can't use it to hold the notes. Well, I still like to press the quad notes with my trigger, just because I'm so used to it. Or, if a ton of quad notes come and you need to alternate it really fast, rather than trying to smash the four, these two and these two to make the quad really fast, I could just alternate my triggers, and that's a lot easier. Also, some people just like having, double macros or triple macros like on their bumpers instead, for example, to do certain songs like Worlds and Dancehall, make it easier for them instead of trying to do everything on the face buttons instead. So yeah, it's up to you how you want to configure it. Just please keep in mind, if you do want to use your bumpers for something else, don't forget to remap your sliders on here to something else, including in the PPD game. Because right now, my entire setup with my my joysticks going left and right is working alongside with these bumpers. Because don't forget, my right stick here, when I tilt it to the right, is actually hitting my right bumper for me. So if you make the right bumper a square, now when you press the right joystick, it's going to press square for you because your bumper's a square. So don't forget to fix that if you're going to change my layout. Alright, so that's how you set up the keys. So you're ready to go and play your game. Let's review what else I have to mention here. So we got this, download all three. We've done setting up the three software. I'm going to link this below for people that don't have the PS4 Future Tone and they still would like to play the official songs. This handy Google Drive link that was given to me by Blizzin has the spreadsheet for all the official songs and their like YouTube links. So just go to the YouTube video and then look in the description and it'll show you the song information and where to get the video. So let's talk about mods next. We're gonna go to the game again. Okay, we're gonna go here, and there's the multiplayer. So if the PPD Discord gets a little bit more popular, you guys can chat in the multiplayer room and see if anybody else wants to play, or when more of you guys learn how to play this. Well, that's pretty cool. You can make your own room and then allow people to join you. But we're gonna go in the single player for now. There's a good old potato right there, potato. So here's all my songs. You guys are going to have 3 songs with my folder, but I'll explain how you can get more songs. No worries. So when you're here, I'm pretty sure it's going to have the exact same mods activated already because you're using my folder, but just to be safe, if you press square, okay, brings up the menu. You can go to the mods right here and just confirm that these mods are checkmarked. I'll explain each one. So these are the ones that make your game look a lot nicer than the stock game. If your game kind of lags, you can start disabling a couple of them to see if it helps your performance. This is the black movie mod, so if you are and you don't like seeing the PV while you play, you can use this mod and that will make your background blank, just like OSU players like it. And the rest you leave on. This you can play with. This is the sound effect, which affects your button noises. I like to use this one right here, but you can disable it. Listen to how the button noises sound to you. It's more of that, like, almost like a woodpecker sound. Not exactly like the woodpecker one, but I don't know, you can give it a try. But I like to have this one on. So you can have this one on or off or try this one. So you have a total of 3 options. And of course there's more that you can download, which I'll show you in a bit. But yeah, that's the mods right here. If you press triangle, just confirm in this menu, you have this connect checkmarked. This will show the lines connecting all the double, triple, and quadruple notes. I wasted so much time trying to find the mod when I first was trying this out a few days ago. How the hell to show the lines, and I didn't realize you just have to checkmark this and then it shows the lines. I thought it was a physical mod I had to download, but no, it's just checkmark this and you'll see the lines. And I mute the sound effects, blah blah blah. And if you want to be God mode, perfect completely every note, all cools, and just as cool as stoic. You just enable that, and now you're stoic, easy. And then disable that, now you're no longer stoic. So that was quite the roller coaster experience there. Okay, so that's it. You can play your games. My last part of this tutorial is now showing you guys how to install the songs and how to download mods. So let's go to it. Where's my OBS here? Disable that. Go to the monitor capture. Nope, sorry. Professional YouTuber here, right here. Okay, there we go. So at the PPD website, this score library up here, this is where you can get all the songs. I know it says 4 pages, but there's a ton. I went to like page 50, just trying to find all the songs that I liked, and gotta say, this is like 80% anime songs. Maybe if some of you guys get really into this game, you can create your own charts and make some more vocally, but like like 80% of these songs are like anime endings and openings, man. I don't like any of these animes. I'm old, okay? I don't watch anime anymore. Like, I watched anime when Chobits was like brand new, okay? It was a long time ago. I don't know any animes nowadays, so none of these anime songs interest me. Oh, there's a lot of Idolmaster songs too, though. Or Bandori, if you like that, so that's good news for you. There's a bunch here. So just find the song that you like. So this one I was very excited. I was talking about in my last tutorial that I had to delete, but I didn't actually try it yet. I'm gonna actually try it tonight. So this one's made by Blizzin. Again, he's the one that gave me a lot of tips for the mods. And you want to just go up here and download the chart. It's just a chart though. Again, the way this game works is the chart is being played on top of the video, so you still need the video file. And you'll see right below, this is the description of where they got that video from. Obviously, it's not a download link, it's just showing you where that video is. So you need to use your brain and figure out how to download the video. I'm sure if you ask very nicely in the PPD Discord, someone will show you the best way to do that. But I'm not going to include it in this tutorial. Plus, I don't think I'm supposed to do that as a YouTuber. But yeah, you can just download that. My only tip for you is homie told me that you can, because sometimes it's a Nico video, and you need to make an account for that one. But there was like a way you could use Google Chrome and just inspect the element of the video in Nico, and you could download the video directly that way without using any third-party software. I've tried that, but it didn't always work, and I don't know why. But I got it to work for some videos, and some other videos it would never work. So what I ended up doing was just simply in Nico in the URL at the top, there's a SM ID, so it's just SM and then a bunch of numbers. That's the ID of the video. Just copy and paste that into YouTube, and I guarantee you somebody has re-uploaded that video from Nico on YouTube, and then you just download it from YouTube and you're done. Easy. And sometimes it's just Google Drive or OneDrive, whatever. Those ones have direct download, so that's even easier. So after you download this and download that, we're gonna go back to the right here, your game folder. You can go to the very top and you'll see a folder here called songs. So again, I'll leave 3 songs for you guys. It's the 2 Michi songs and slow motion. But yeah, you drag that folder into here. So for example, if I look at Chronos, it'll have everything except the video file. Once you get your video file, you drag it into this, and that's it. No need to rename the video file or anything, just put it in there, boom, you're done. Nice and easy. Some other tips for you when you're trying to find your songs. If you really like the chart that person made, that you played, just remember who they are. So example, Corn Dog Scammer. You can just click their name and click the score list, and you'll see all the other songs that they have also made. And most likely, if you like one of their songs or charts that they made, you'll probably like the other charts, because obviously every single song in this list is all fan made, and there's going to be some people that are more talented than others. So you'll see maybe some charts are garbage. Probably want to stay away from those ones then, unless you just really love that song and you're willing to sacrifice gameplay over listening to the song or playing that song. But everybody gets better. You know, some people start out bad, but then they get really good. So don't judge too harshly on just one song. Give a couple of them a try, especially if they're songs that you like. So that's how that works for the songs. Right here at the top, this is other mods that's available. So sometimes Japanese players made it, and some are made by English-speaking players. So yeah, I don't really not gonna get into this because all the most basic ones that you really need is already included in my download. But if you want to see what else there is, like maybe some other sound effects that you want to look for, or other skins, because maybe the skin that I included is still too laggy no matter what, but you don't want the absolute garbage original stock no skin mod, you can look around and just try some of these other skins. And same thing, once you download the skin, so you just download that, you're just going to go back to your PPD folder, and it's usually just one file, and it's just in your mods right here. You just plop it in here, good to go. If you download my heavily modded, the heavier modded Mediafire link, you can actually add your loading screens. I'm pretty sure you can't do that in the lighter mod because it doesn't have the fancier skins, but simply just go into the IMG right here, and in the loading folder, just put whatever pictures you want to show up as you're loading between the games. So that's how you can add some loading screens. Alright, I think we're good. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Again, everything will be in the description, and any more questions, I'm sure if you ask nicely, the PPD Discord community will be happy to help you. So just should be good to go, I think. Have fun, guys. I'm gonna go pass out now.